Thank you for tuning in to TTV. I'm your host, Toya, and today is Tuesday, and I'm bringing you guys a different alternative medicine outside of my normal herbs. I'm here in my chiropractor's office with Dr. Peter Anderson. We call him Dr. Pete, and we're just going to give you some information. I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with going to the chiropractor because of the stories that they may have heard, and I just really want to put you guys at ease because it's something I've been doing since we discussed this about 15 years. I've been coming to him. So I guess we should start out first with what is chiropractic services?
Okay. Chiropractic is physical medicine that reduces stress off joints and nerves to help restore better posture, better movement, and better function.
Okay, and I know y'all just set up when he said posture, y'all did that. Shoulders back and sit up straight, right? So what made you decide to get into the chiropractic services?
First time at a chiropractor, I was 13.
Okay.
And I didn't realize how tall I was getting. And I was getting out of a van and I smacked my head and it just jammed up my neck really bad to the point where I was holding my head just to get around all weekend. My parents took me to a chiropractor, never heard of such a thing.
Okay.
But after the exam and my first adjustment sounded like a machine gun went off.
Oh, wow.
I just remember going,
because sometimes that's what it feels like.
That's what rocks my world when I get that.
Right. It rocks mine too because I have an issue with a spot in my back, and every time he does it, he goes and he pops it, and it's just like, oh, thank you, because it's like this annoyance that's just sitting there, just like hey, tapping, and then he goes in, he does his adjustment, and it's like relief. So a lot of people have heard these horror stories about the chiropractic services and what happens, and all these stories about people being messed up for life. Like, what kind of advice would you give them to kind of put them at ease and open their minds up to even trying chiropractic services?
Well, one thing you might want to do is to ask around, ask your friends, ask your family, the ones that have had a good experience. What was their experience like? Maybe that's and if it matches up with what makes you comfortable, maybe that's the doctor you need to go see. I've been on the receiving end of chiropractic that wasn't applied properly. So I don't like that either. I always go, I finally I only allow certain, I have like 2 or 3 chiropractors myself because they're my friends.
Okay.
But there are some I haven't ever let touch me again. But that's because, one, I knew how I felt. I knew how the ones that were more successful with adjusting me had made me felt. So those are the ones that I stuck to. But it's important that you gel with your doctor, that you can communicate and say, that didn't feel right, or that I'm feeling rushed here. Could we slow this down? If you mention that something wasn't working right, it's important to tell that your chiropractor, your doctor, your therapist, because then they can say, well, let's back up. What's happening here? Do they need to reassess you or re-examine you? Did something else happen in your life since they saw you last? Do we need to address something else first?
Right.
So you need to find one that makes you comfortable, so that you're going to be able to communicate your needs to them.
Yes, I agree. Because I know that's one of the things, first things you ask when we come in is, hey, what's been going on? That's like one of your first questions.
How long has it been there?
Yep.
What's it do? How does it make you feel worse? What makes you feel better? What that you've tried?
And I know we talked about it before, where it's kind of like choosing a chiropractor is a lot like choosing a mental health provider. Sometimes you go to them and you guys mesh. Sometimes you go to them and you don't. And sometimes you have to shop around until you find the one that works for you. I know there was a period when Dr. P had his office, he had changed his office hours and I wasn't able to go. And I ended up going to a couple of other ones. Now, don't get me wrong, they did the job. They were able to give me the adjustment and relieve my back pain like normal. It's just, it was done in a lot different. And they didn't do some of the same techniques that Dr. Anderson does, like the acupressure and the, you said it was muscle tension exercises?
Muscle testing is more of a nerve test.
Yeah.
To figure out what needs to be worked on.
Yeah, what needs to be adjusted. And they didn't do those things, but they still got the job done for when I had to go to them until I can get back to Dr. Pete. So another thing we talked about too is what are some of the tools that you used to make people feel more comfortable if they're, afraid to come in or don't want to give it a chance?
First things first, after we've had a chance to talk about your healthcare goals so that we can enhance your health, we do a very thorough exam, and I might just take out this inclinometer and measure how far you can bend back and forth. Mm-hmm. I might push and prod on your body, see what makes things better, see what makes things worse, see what doesn't affect you at all. And using those things, then I may use my hands to do some physical medicine to reduce the stress off your joints and nerves. Sometimes I'll use an instrument. This one kind of looks like a Black & Decker tool, but this is a great way to, sometimes we need to, sometimes we have patients that can't handle me using my hands just yet. So we'll use one of the instruments to where they aren't getting the
right
noises that freak them out. Yeah. So, but we can make corrections with an instrument that has multiple impulses and can make the correction to help with your posture.
Yeah, and this tool might look a little scary, but all it really does is just taps. That's all it does. So what would you advise somebody like to set their spine up for the day or to set it up before they're going to bed? Like what advice could you give for that?
Depending on your lifestyle, you should have a routine that you do to prepare your body for the day. One of the things that I do is I talk about we need to stay hydrated. When you get dehydrated, your muscles tighten. If your muscles tighten, you have more joint nerve pressure and you hurt more. So we lose a liter of water when we sleep. So the first thing you should grab in the morning is a glass of water to drink and just sip on it. I didn't say you had to give up coffee. Just grab the water first.
Right.
The next thing you may have to do is an exercise routine, and it might, if you have a flexibility issue, you may need to do stretching exercises. If you have a mobility issue, you may need to do some movements that help mobilize your body. Okay. If you have a stability issue, you may need stability exercises to help prepare your body for the day's activities. Then think about gravity all day, pushing. This is the weight of a bowling ball pushing down on our shoulders, and then we look down at our phone all day, or we're at a computer, or we're driving all day.
Or slouch and watch a TV.
Poor posture means the gravity is going to affect us more.
Right.
So what we need to do is prepare our spine for sleep, which is going to reverse the effects of gravity. In short, you roll up a towel about 3 or 4 inches thick, and you put it underneath your neck, and you lay down in bed with your head with the towel underneath your neck and lay there for at least 15 minutes. Now I'll fall asleep in 3, but at least lay on it for 15 minutes to help reverse the effects of gravity.
And I agree with you on that one too. I don't think I've ever made the whole 15 minutes laying in that position. You tend to fall asleep before you get to the 15 minutes. I don't know. It's something about it. Maybe it has something to do with the pressure points or something. I don't know. But it does work and it does help. And you wake up a little more rejuvenated. So you are taking the patients, correct?
Yep. We just moved over here to iCare Spine Rehabilitation Center. I joined I brought my crew with me, and we joined Dr. Forbes' crew, so now we're all Dr. Forbes' crew. But just when you call us, the first thing whoever answers the phone is gonna ask you is, how can we enhance your health today? And that's truly the benefit of chiropractic.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And anything else you want to say to the people?
Thanks for having me, Latoya.
Awesome. Always. Like I said, I've been coming to him for 15 years. I remember when I had sciatica, my sciatica flared up really bad from sitting at the desk all the time. And I think I was in here like every day almost for 2 weeks. Like, it was bad. But Dr. Anderson is one of the reasons I think I was able to recuperate and get over that so well. So I really and truly do recommend chiropractic services. Like he said, you may not get the first one may not be the one that resonates with you, and you may have to go to another one, but it's still shop around. Don't let that discourage you. Don't let the stories that people tell you discourage you, because you see how many patients every day?
Depends on if I'm by myself or Dr. Forbes is here, but we might see anywhere from 30 to a little over 50 people a day.
So 30 to 50 people a day. That's 30 to 50 people who don't have those horror stories that every day, okay, that comes to the chiropractor's offices. So give it a chance. It really can enhance your health, enhance your mobility, help you function. You guys know I'm big on energy and how it moves through the body. And if your body isn't functioning right, then the energy can't move right. So get adjusted. Try out the chiropractic services. And if you're in the Detroit or Metro Detroit area, check out Dr. Pete's. I'll have his information listed below so you can get in touch with him and make your appointment or your consultation with him. Anything else?
No, thank you.
All right. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you, everybody. You have a wonderful day. I love you and talk to you tomorrow.